Hi, everybody. Before we get to another great interview, the Two Opinionated podcast could really use your help. And it's easy, it's free. IMDb, which is the entertainment database, imdb.com, named us a top 100 podcast. We came in at number 82. That's a big deal because there's 15 million podcasts and growing. So to be named to anybody's top 100 list, pretty big deal for us. And the way you can help is to go to imdb.com, look up the Two Opinionated podcast, and that's it. Just bringing our page up. That traffic really helps us out. Our YouTube channel is MeisterCon Pod. All we ask is that you subscribe. It's also free, but that really helps us to attract these amazing guests that we keep bringing on the program. And that's it. Two easy ways for you to support us, and we would really appreciate the help. Now let's get to that interview. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Two Opinionated. I am so excited today. I've got actress Aliyah Mastin with me. So welcome, Aliyah.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
It's such a pretty name. I like the Y in it. I don't know why, but it looks like it sounds pretty, but it looks pretty with the Y.
What do you see mostly? Do you see ALIA or ALEAH?
Yeah. EAA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know the late singer, she's double A, well, triple AALIYAH, but I'm just two A's,
Yeah.
ALIYAH.
Well, I think it looks very pretty. It's a good Hollywood name.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I went through like this phase as a kid where I kept changing my name. I went through Blake. I saw Hunger Games, so I went through Primrose for a second. It was really weird. I had to like write a name on a piece of paper and put it up on my door so my mom would know what I
I
wanted to be
think
called.
it's really interesting that the younger generation right now is getting a lot of their names from like TV and movies. So like
Yeah.
Hunger Games, Game of Thrones, those type of shows, we're getting some of those names and they're pretty good names.
Yeah, definitely some interesting names out there too.
Yeah. Well, we needed that. When I was growing up, Mike, number one. Number two was David, which is my middle names, my dad's names, my brother's name. I was like, we needed some variety. We had no imagination back in the 70s. So okay, so let's start. I'll start this way. We have to talk Paradise, but before we do that, tell me a little bit about what got you into acting. Such a difficult profession. I know you're fairly new to it, but what made you want to be an actress?
So it's honestly something that I've always kind of known. My
Yeah.
mother kept me surrounded by the arts, and I grew up watching Annie, The Wiz, Little Shop of Horrors. Like I was always surrounded by that kind of stuff. And I think the first thing that I ever did was a local play. It was Annie, and then
Did
I
you
had
get
my.
to play Annie?
I did not. I played Molly, little Molly girl.
Well, that's a good role.
She's a good character. And then I had never really done anything else. And my mom's friend's cousin sent an audition. It was an open casting call for The Lion King on Broadway. And
Yeah.
my mom was like, just go, just do it. And I did, and I got the role. So that was my first audition ever. I didn't know what I was doing. I just went in there, I did what they told me to do, and then I auditioned. I auditioned through self-tape, then in Atlanta, then in New York like 8 times, and then I got the role.
Wow. It's not
Yeah.
supposed to be that easy. I mean, that's a big role for your first role.
Yeah, you know what? I don't think I have even grasped that it's a huge role for the first time. I was 11 at the time. So I think just like last year I sort of realized that was a lot.
I mean, that was
That was
Broadway.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm very thankful it was the first thing I was able to do. It was an incredible environment. It wasn't like you better get out there and you better do a good job. They really nurtured us and they took care of us. So I'm very thankful that I had that sort of experience so early on in my career. And it's honestly been the thing that's kept me going.
Well, yeah, I would imagine so. It's probably made it, a lot of actors are introverts, which surprised me. But if you have a role on Broadway at 11, you're probably not as nervous as a lot of people would be if they hadn't had that experience. Once you've done that, you should be able to do about anything.
You would think. I would say when I was younger, I was a lot more naive. Like I said, I didn't know what I was doing. I just went
Yeah.
up there and danced and I sang and I loved to do it at the time. And I still do love to do it, but I think now I'm a little bit more in my head than I used to be. So you get a little self-conscious and a little bit of that imposter syndrome now, but back then it was a breeze. I
I
just
know. Don't you wish we could keep that feeling?
oh my
Because at
goodness.
that age, you think you can do anything.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I definitely did. I mean, I could have a not so great show and I'd still be fine. I wouldn't eat myself alive for it.
Was Lion King, did that lead to the Broadway Kids stuff, or was that later?
Broadway Kids, the song I did.
Yeah, well, the Against Bullying, was that a song?
Yes, that did. Broadway
Yeah.
is very community filled. They keep us, they want us to do charity work and they nurture us to do all that. And so, yes, it did. They got a bunch of Broadway kids together and we did a song against bullying.
Yeah, that's pretty great. I love that
Yeah,
Broadway does that because
so
and
do
it's smart on their part because those younger actors, performers, those may be your main performers once they become adults. So you want to keep them engaged and
absolutely.
involved.
That's why I say I'm so glad that I started there because they really
Yeah.
do take care of you and they mold you to be a good person. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you still sing?
Absolutely. Yes. It's all I do. I was just singing as I was getting ready before coming on here. But yes, I do still sing. I hope to have music out maybe sometime late 2025. So
Oh, that's exciting. All right.
yeah,
I'm just going to go ahead and put my order in. When you get ready to put music out, you got to come back. We got to talk about that when you
absolutely.
come back.
I got you.
I'm in early. Well, I saw you did some of the Pop Kid songs.
Yes, Acapop
With that.
Kids.
Yeah, yeah. What is that we've had a few of those. The Now This Is Music, kids version, that type kids bop, that type of thing.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's along those lines.
Yes. So we were a kids group. It was 100% a cappella. We
Right.
sang songs, we sang ballads, we sang all kinds of stuff, but you can totally go and look that up on YouTube. Great group. It taught me a lot about singing and stacking vocals, and I'll definitely carry that on to my own music career
Yeah, I
someday
was
too.
gonna say if you're writing do you write your own music?
I do. I do.
Oh,
I
that's
don't
pretty
have it
cool.
released, but I am a writer, yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, how did that come about? Did you just start writing music, or were you like writing poetry and it led to music?
So
Some people go that route.
So I wrote music when I was younger, but it was all like, like blue skies, birds
Well,
chirping,
you
just
don't
like
really have any negativity to you've got no nothing's happened yet.
I know. And then as you get older, you start to go through things and you're like, okay, I got some stuff to write about for sure. I really started writing during the pandemic. I kind of had nothing to do. School
Great
was
time
out.
to do it.
Oh yeah. And so you would think because nothing was really going on, I wouldn't have anything to write about. But I saw a lot of songwriters on TikTok and it really inspired me to start
Yeah,
writing my own. So yeah.
that's pretty good. What's the what genre are you singing? Is it more pop? Is it country? What's your genre?
My favorite songs to write are definitely ballads because usually it's in like the heartbreak kind of thing. And I feel like you can never go wrong with a heartbreak
Right.
kind
Because we've
of.
all been through it.
Absolutely. Always write something. But yeah. I like to write ballads. To me, that's some of the easiest sort of songs to write, but I do love a good pop song, so I like to write that as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. That's pretty good. Do you play an instrument?
So far, my only instrument is my voice. Um, I have taken a few piano lessons, but I'm a mover.
Yeah.
Hard for me to just sit there and it's hard for me.
Well, you
But
said
yeah,
you dance a little bit,
I
so
do dance.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
dancers have a tendency to struggle
something
to
like
stay still.
yeah.
Yeah.
For
Yeah,
sure.
my oldest, my daughter, she danced all through school, well through high
Yeah.
school, and then once she got out of high school, she stopped. But now her daughter's in dance, so I'm
Cool.
back in that. I was a dance dad, now I guess a dance papa. But
It's sad. Yeah. I know she put you through a lot, huh? You were at
But
every rehearsal.
well, if you're a dancer, even once you stop dancing, you never really stop dancing.
Oh yeah.
You just
Oh
stop dancing on stage.
yeah. Yeah, it definitely keeps you in shape.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I thought it's so good. Not just physically, but emotionally, it's good for you. Yeah,
Yeah.
not too bad. All right,
Sometimes
so we got to talk Paradise.
let's do it.
I'm caught up because it's the new one's out tonight, right?
It came out last
Oh,
night,
last night I haven't watched. Wait, maybe I have. Was that episode 6 or 7?
episode 7.
Okay, I'm through 6, so I haven't seen
Okay.
7 yet.
Okay. So you're
But
almost there. You're almost there.
almost there, and then next week's the end, right? That's the finale.
It's the season finale.
I know. So let's start it this way.
Mhm.
Will there be another season, or is this more a limited series type of thing?
Season 2 was confirmed last week, so we will be getting a season 2. There will be more chaos, more just you wait. Just you wait.
It's such a unique story because when it starts, you think it's a story about the murder of a president,
Hmm.
you know, but in today's world or something similar to today's world. And then you get this whole thing where, no, yes, there was a murder of a president, but it's this group of people that's now living underground because you've had this big catastrophe that,
Yes.
that we don't
So
know about. We don't
secrets.
know
Yeah.
exactly what happened.
Yeah, for
Was
sure.
it a
So
tsunami? Was it nuclear? What happened?
So I'm sure it was a series of things. I won't give too much away because you haven't seen episode 7,
Right.
but episode 7 will answer a lot of those questions you just asked.
Okay.
But each episode, I love it because it pulls you in, it leaves you in that cliffhanger. It's a hive full of secrets, but each episode you do get an answer for you. It's been driving my mom nuts. Of course, everything that happens, she's always asking me, "What can you tell me, Aliyah? What can you tell me?" And I'm like, "I will not tell you a thing. You have to wait till next
Well, do
Tuesday."
you know? Do you know the story, or do you
Of
know
course
only
I know the
your part of
story.
it? Okay.
Of course I know the
Yeah,
story.
yeah.
It's
Well,
been,
some places don't. They keep it so tight. You
yeah.
may know the scenes you're in, but you don't know the overall story. But you know it.
You know what? I actually, when I first joined onto the project, I didn't know everything that was going on. I just knew that I'd be playing the president's bodyguard's daughter. And so as we were filming, I was learning more and more about the world we were in. So I didn't even really know that we were in an underground bunker even until like the second week. I didn't have all the episodes yet, so I was learning it as we were shooting.
Oh, that's kind of neat.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if I'd want to know or if I would enjoy like learning with everybody else.
You know what? I mean, the show is so incredible and everything is revealed so spectacularly that I know what's happening, but even as I'm watching it, I'm still shocked.
Yeah.
As if I was watching it for the first time. So,
What a cast.
oh my goodness. The best cast at that. I mean, everyone's so kind, so hardworking. It's really great to be surrounded by these hard workers. So early on in my career, such good role models as well. They're
We've had Chris on the show. She was on I think that was last summer maybe we had her on and I absolutely love her. I think she's the best acting
so
wise.
great.
Yeah, she's pretty good. And she does such a good job here because she's in love with the president,
Mm.
but it's complicated.
Indeed, yeah.
I like you've got the president, he gets killed pretty early, but you still get everything that you need because of the flashbacks.
Hmm.
It's like the story's unfolding in really 3 different times because you got
Yeah.
the after tragedy but early,
Hmm.
before tragedy, and then you got current time.
Yes, it's a lot to keep up with, but it's the way, I mean, our writers are incredible. Dan Fogelman is an absolute genius. I don't think anyone else could have done it that way but him. I mean, he is,
Yeah, he's pretty amazing. We know
yeah.
he's he's kind of established at this point.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. So, did we find out what the numbers on the cigarette mean?
I don't think we have.
Okay. So I haven't missed that yet. I'll watch episode 7 tonight, but I'm
Mhm.
assuming because I was watching on Hulu, it was probably airing last night, but
Yeah.
hadn't hit Hulu yet. Yeah. See, if I'd known, for some reason, I was thinking it was a Tuesday show, uh, but it's probably because of Hulu.
Yes,
That's what
it
I
is.
was watching.
It does come out. I mean, I stay up at till 12 a.m. so I can watch it.
Oh
Just
yeah, at midnight it shows up. Yep.
Mhm.
See, that's the
Yeah.
that's the advantage of being young. It's so rare when I make it to midnight anymore.
Oh yeah, I'm a night owl too, so
I was
yeah.
too at your age. I used to stay up. My mother is a night owl to this
Mhm.
day. So she's
Wow.
3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, she'll go to bed. She's up around 11 o'clock, something like that. It's my whole life she's been that way. But when I was younger, she'd let me stay up on occasion with her, and I'd watch Johnny Carson or whatever. We'd watch old movies together. So I'd be up. So I was kind of a night owl. But as I've gotten older, it's crept.
Honestly, I'm the same way as your mother. I'm awake until like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. watching movies. That's all I'm doing at night. I don't know. I heard it's something like revenge procrastination. That time it's like really quiet and you can just have that time to yourself. So I
I
think
like that. And that is true. If you've ever been up in the middle of the night watching movies and stuff, it's kind of peaceful
it's very peaceful.
because there's no other noise.
Quiet, lights off, in
Yeah.
your bed. You don't want to
What
be
are you
anywhere.
watching though? Like with me, late night, it's usually comedies for me
Okay.
because I don't like going to bed with something too upsetting.
Last night, I before I went to bed, I watched The Crow. I watched the new one with Bill
Oh, what
Skarsgård.
do you think of that one?
I actually liked it. It was very gory, so I completely understand what you mean by you need to watch something happy
That's
before
right.
you go to bed. So I definitely had to turn on cartoons after
Yeah,
that.
right.
Oh yeah, yeah. If you've seen it, it's out there. It's very gory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen the original?
I have not seen
Oh,
the
you need to go
original.
back and watch that. That was
Yeah, yeah, I
pretty
should
good.
go see it.
If nothing else, it'll let you know what a tragedy it was that we lost, Brandon Lee
Mhm.
so early. He was a very talented actor. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of. But it was neat. I just watched Bill in Nosferatu.
I saw that as well. I actually saw that there's a theater in Atlanta and it's one of the oldest theaters in Atlanta. So it's a vintage theater and I watched
Oh,
35 millimeter. It was the coolest way to experience the movie.
that had to be awesome.
It was so cool. It was so cool. Everything, there was like an old photo booth. It was decorated like a movie theater from the 80s.
I kept telling my son that Nosferatu was about a actor in a movie within the movie. So they're making a movie, a vampire movie, and the lead actor is a vampire.
See, I didn't even know
Well, that's not true. I thought that
that.
was my whole life. I watched Nosferatu, the silent one, probably in my teenage years, and just over time, somewhere I've mixed that up. Well, so we were looking it up because I watched this version, and obviously it's more of a Dracula story, just with a different vampire name. But so it turns out that in 2000 there was a movie called Shadow of the Vampire. So that movie was about the making of Nosferatu, and in
Wow.
it, Willem Dafoe, who's also in Nosferatu,
Yes.
he's playing Max Schreck, who is an actor in the movie Nosferatu, but he's also a vampire.
Wow. I'm gonna have to watch
You look
that.
at it, Shadow of the Vampire. So at some point, that's where I got the thing. But I felt better about it. I was like, well, he was making the Nosferatu movie. That's where I got it mixed up. But yeah,
Technically,
I thought it was. I love the mustache. Thought that was.
yeah.
I don't know. It kind of amused me, but it was a very upsetting version of a vampire.
Mm.
He was kind of creepy.
He was, he was. His fingers are all long
Well, and
and
that the breathing, you
yeah.
know, and he's attaching himself to people's chest instead of their neck. I thought that was terrible. I didn't like that at all.
I would say the audience, it was really cool to experience it with the audience. They were all laughing and it was a good way to experience it. So maybe I need to watch it again. Maybe if I watch it by myself, I'll be a little bit more
Yeah.
afraid.
I'm jealous that you saw it that way. That sounds amazing. So Presley on Paradise, episode 6, she's out there on her own a little bit,
She
left her
is
brother alone,
getting into some
typical
stuff.
teenage shenanigans.
Hey, can you blame her?
Well, it's usually a boy or a girl, depending on, it's somebody. There's a romantic interest that's causing the issue.
And then she leaves him because she wants ice cream. But
I know. I'm a
yeah.
little worried. I have to admit, I'm a little worried about her. I haven't seen episode 7 yet, so I don't know, but I'm a little worried about her because, you've got Jane. Jane's a little scarier than what you thought at the beginning.
Mm, yeah, she's getting into some stuff. I mean,
When
she in
she
my
plays so nice.
I'm sorry.
She plays it so nice. It's, it's like almost worse when you find out
Yeah,
that she's, kind of a bad guy.
yeah, Jane, she reels you in and
Because
then
you think she's just kind of harmless, but she's
Mhm.
she's really kind of a badass, but not in a good way.
Oh, well, not at all. Yeah.
Well, so will we, in a hypothetical season 2, does your character get more responsibility, or are we getting more of your character?
Well, I don't know much about season two, but Presley's always been, I mean, she's making breakfast, she's taking care of her father, making
She
sure.
definitely like more mature than her age.
Oh, yeah. I mean, she's pretty much the mother of the house. She's
Yeah.
taking care of everyone, and she calls it how she sees it. She's got her own way. So I wouldn't be surprised if she's taken some responsibility in season
I
two.
think it's going to be interesting if the mom comes back.
Mm,
Found out she might still be alive. We don't know yet. But what
see.
if she comes back? Then that dynamic, you got to shift again, because then you go back to you're more of a teenager instead of the kind of the mother of the household.
Yeah, I mean, I think she'll be happy to get a load off of her. I mean,
Well, it's tough because you're young. You've been through all. I mean, think of the changes that she's been through. You're living underground.
going to a
Your dad's
community.
never home.
Yeah, it's got to be tough for sure. But I think she handles it well. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of things that she's suppressing, but I mean, she's a strong girl, and so she's got it.
That is the impression you get. Very
Mhm.
strong, mature girl. But then she does the not mature thing, leaves her brother, and goes
Leaves
looking for a boy.
Uh-oh. Hey, she's gonna have a life too, though.
Well, I mean, that's basically your young adult years.
Mhm.
Most of the time, you make really good decisions, but every once in a while, a little suspect.
I mean, she's taking care of everybody. She's got to have her fun too, you know?
It's only fair. It's only fair.
Absolutely.
So here's my this is my theory. So I'm gonna throw it out there because it's probably wrong. So we found out that Sinatra didn't kill the president, so she said.
What she said.
So I'm assuming you know who killed him?
I do know.
Well, you don't have to tell me because I don't want to give any this, but this my guess is it was I can't think of his name, but the dad.
Okay.
That's my guess.
I've heard that a few
Yeah.
times. What makes you think it was him?
Well, I mean, he's kind of he's obviously suffering from dementia or something. He's kind of in and out. Um, you had that moment where, the Cal didn't get to hear it. He was asking, "Were you ever proud of me?" And he's like, "I did everything for you." So
Mm.
no, but then he kind of comes out of that a little bit when he's by himself, and he's talking to the son who he thinks is Cal, and he's like, I was proud of you, and so Cal never got to hear that, and I think that he's having, in those moments where he's more lucid, he's having some issues dealing with what he did. And I think what he did was he gets rid of Cal because he's afraid Cal is going to kind of mess up what they've got going on down there. That's my theory. That's probably wrong, but that's where I think.
Okay. Okay. I
Yeah.
like your theory. Of course,
Well, I know you can't tell, and that's okay because, as fans, we want to know everything, but also be surprised.
yes. Yeah. Definitely will be. I mean, every episode there's something new. So there's a surprise. So
I know I like the finding, although I I found it humorous that they were able to get into the armory and basically wipe it out. You think they'd have had those spread out a little bit, maybe not
yeah.
all in one place.
Yeah, I mean, I need to.
That's maybe next time, maybe they'll spread those out a little bit.
Just all in one place. So
They made it kind of easy for them.
I know.
In that respect. But then it got complicated because, she's like, hey, you need to knock this stuff off. We'll go find your wife.
Yeah.
Which, I was trying to think, if that was me, if I was in that situation, what would I do? It'd be hard not to be like, okay, let's go find her. It'd be tough, or do you stick to the course, go ahead and kind of finish what you're doing and then go find her on your own?
I think I would have finished what I was doing and then go out and find her on my own.
Yeah. I'd never let her go to Atlanta.
Like that without those weapons and
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
that's true.
because people are coming after you for sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's a very tense show. I also kind of liked it that he was basically running from his house to the president's residence. It cracked me up. I'm like, what is he doing? He running home, running there, never sweats.
Hey, he's got to stay in shape. He's got to
He's
do all
in
that
shape.
I mean,
yeah, he's in shape.
Up.
And Sterling plays such a good he does a character well where you can tell there's a ton of stuff going on in his head, but he never shows it. He's very closed, but he plays it really well.
In the episode, you've got to watch episode 7.
Tonight.
Stellar performance. Stellar. Yeah.
I'm kind of looking forward to tonight because we'll watch episode 7 and then probably like episode 2 of White Lotus. Can't go wrong.
I've been watching that as well. But yeah, you've got to get your tissues. I was going to say get popcorn, but it's so intense that you might not even remember the popcorn's there.
Yeah.
Episode.
Ooh. See, that's kind of interesting because I assumed that most of that would be happening in next week's episode. So now I wonder what's next week's episode going to be about. Does it surprise you that it was just an 8-episode season? I mean, it's kind of the norm anymore.
It doesn't surprise me very much. I could see them going with more episodes because there's so much.
There's a lot. Yeah, like you could have done 13, I think, fairly easily and just expanded out some of the character development. Wouldn't be too tough.
Yeah, I mean, you have space for so much and so much is going on. So yeah, I could, like you said, 13 episodes or even 10, I could see them.
I mean, I'd like to see more of Billy's background. He's got a very interesting, rough background, and we saw some of it.
We did. Oh, Uncle Billy.
I know, Uncle Billy. You start worrying about him. You're like, I don't know about Billy, and then it turned he was a good guy who's just in a rough spot.
Yeah, absolutely.
And in love with the wrong person.
The wrong person. Complete wrong.
Oh, that was terrible. Because he had that big stand. You better bring the biggest one you got. And then it turned out it was his girl.
I know. Oh man.
And she didn't seem very upset.
No. I mean, I would actually love to know a little bit more about Jane's background. I want to know how she got up under Sinatra.
That is true. Yeah. Now that you say that, yeah, we need to know more about Jane.
I would love to know her background story. Yeah.
I'm sure we'll get it at some point, at least some of it.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you could play any other character on the show, who would you play?
Ooh. You know what? I think I'd like to play Sinatra.
Sinatra is kind of a cool
I'd
role.
really like to play Sinatra. She has some of the best dialogue. She's always cursing someone out. I love it.
Oh yeah,
Um,
she's the best, and Sinatra's like the coolest nickname.
oh yeah. She's a bad girl. She's a bad girl.
I used to watch her on Boardwalk Empire, and she was fantastic on there. She's just a great actress.
Oh
Just
yeah.
another one. You can tell there's a ton of stuff going on behind, but she doesn't really let any of it out.
Mhm.
She's very controlled.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Well,
She-
I appreciate you taking a little bit of time. This has been terrific. I absolutely think that your acting on Paradise has been spectacular because
Thank
it's difficult because you've got the you're playing a teenager, has to be more mature because she has got to take care of her little brother, help her dad out. You're underground, so your entire world has been turned upside down. A lot of kids, they'd just be a mess. And you figured out a way to kind of put that to the side a little bit so that you're able to function. And I think the acting job on that's not easy, and you've done a really good job with it.
Thank you so much. I
Yeah.
mean, surrounded by absolute marvels at what they do, and so watching that every day, it really has made an impact on how I see acting, and so I'm just very thankful to be surrounded by everyone that I am
Oh,
surrounded with.
yeah.
Yes.
Well, yeah, you definitely belong.
Thank
Which
you.
let me ask you this: did you watch Jury Duty?
I did watch Jury
Wasn't he
Duty.
good in that?
I love that show. They're filming season 2 right now, I heard.
I'm assuming it'll be a whole different cast.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
You almost have to be to do it that way, because
yeah.
at this point, a lot of people have seen that show, so it'd be tough to trick somebody else for
Honestly, I
that.
was surprised they announced that there would be a season 2 because I thought, oh, like whoever's, in the middle of it all may like
Yeah,
veer.
yeah, that's kind of surprising.
Everything really
I was
has to.
hopeful there'd be another season because it was so successful, but I wasn't too sure about it. When that first started though, and I told my wife this, there was a couple of that on the jury, and I was like, I'm pretty sure those are actors. It's like Susan Berger played the older woman that's hilarious on there, and I was like, I've seen her and stuff. And then of course, you figure it out pretty quick.
Yeah, I would love to be on that. That's such a cool concept.
Well, and he does such a good job with the like it's basically he's playing himself, but like a little bit of not as his best version. He's a little much.
Yeah.
But he does it so well, and he's so good as the president in this because he's a mess,
Yeah.
but he's very easy to root for because he's really trying to do the best that he can. He's kind of broken. He's kind
Yeah,
of a
I
mess.
kind of going back to what you said, you have all these characters that have gone through so much and sort of suppressing what has happened to,
Yeah,
keep moving forward, and some handle it better than others.
yeah. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. So before I let you go, a couple little things. Anything else that you're working on that we can keep an eye out for?
Well, of course, season 2, we haven't begun filming yet, but I'm really excited to hop into that. And hopefully you maybe hear some music, original music
Oh yeah,
coming from.
yeah. I hear
So
you're coming back on the show to talk about it. That's what I hear.
you got it. You got it.
I bet I'm the first request you've received.
You are. And for that, I definitely have to come
You
back.
have to. That's the rule.
Absolutely.
Where can we find you on social media?
You can find me on Instagram at Aliyah Mastin. You can also find me on TikTok at Aliyah Mastin as well. I'll spell it out for you. ALIYAHMASTIN. I hope to see you there.
Are you dancing on TikTok?
I'm not dancing see very much on TikTok, actually. Maybe I should get on that.
There's some talented dancers on there.
Yeah.
It's a little intimidating, though.
I know. I may have to practice a little bit more before
No, I'm sure you'd be
I may have
fine.
to call your daughter so she
Oh, there
can
you
teach
go.
TikTok dances. We can do it together.
I would watch. You'd have at least one viewer.
It's worth it.
Aliyah, thank you so much. I hope we really do get to this again. I've had the best time. The show's terrific. You're terrific on it, and I can't wait to see what you do now.
Podcast. So thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Of course. When we were watching the first episode, it's been a few weeks back, I told my wife, I was like, whoa. I was like, I want to talk to her. I was like, I haven't seen her on anything, and she's really talented. So thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
That's been great. Okay, hold on one second. Aliyah Mastin, talented young lady. If you're not watching Paradise, I don't know what to tell you. You're missing out on a really good show. It's got action, it's got drama, it's got a little bit of comedy. It's got people that you know, that you love as actors. The gentleman playing the dad, and apologies, I should normally here before Parkinson's, I had a pretty good memory. That stuff, if I needed it, right there. Since Parkinson's, short-term memory, a little spotty. So I got to take a little bit better notes. So sometimes when I reach for that information, probably in about 30 seconds, that name will pop in my head. But the dad, I believe, was on a show back in the 80s called Simon and Simon. That was kind of a detective show. We had a lot of those type of shows back then. Excellent actor. Absolutely love it when he shows up. And he does a terrific job playing the dad that was this powerful businessman, involved in politics, all of that, but he's on the decline. So he's kind of ruthlessly pushing his son, who wants to be a school teacher like his mother, and he instead ends up becoming the president of the United States, but he doesn't want to be there. He's doing it all for his dad. His dad plays that role really well. All of the acting in the show is really, really strong. You've got established actors that are terrific that you'll recognize, and then you've got newer actors like Aliyah that are just terrific. I mean, whoever did the casting has definitely earned their money for this show. I'm so excited that they came out that season 2 would be happening. I was a little worried that it was going to end a little too quickly, because we need to know what's going on outside of this bunker in Colorado. And I think we're going to find that out. Hopefully this season we'll get a little of it, but definitely next season we'll definitely see some on surface things. We got the picture of the top of the Washington Monument that's kind of underwater, so you just see the top of it sticking out, and you've got a lot of storms rolling through. So we got to see that, but we haven't really seen a lot of what's happening topside, let's say. So we shall see. Check it out, Paradise. It's Monday, I'm guessing, on the broadcast networks, and then Hulu, the next day. So pretty good. Probably should have mentioned, she also was in a movie called Honey Girls. She played Maya, that had Ashanti was also in that. Really good role. Probably one of the first things that she did. Make sure that if you see Aliyah, that you're supporting her. Talented young lady. If you're finding us for the first time, so happy that you're here. Definitely could use your support. Easy to do. It's free. We wouldn't ask you for any money, but we will ask for your subscription. So our YouTube channel is MeisterCon Pod. It's free to subscribe to. We're not going to ask you for anything, but those subscriptions help us to continue to get these terrific guests. So please subscribe, YouTube MeisterCon Pod. You can find all of our episodes. Right now, there's 917 of them. You can find all of those audio and video versions on our website, meistercon.com. So please check us out there. If we're doing anything in studio, covering a convention, going on location, be on the website, meistercon.com. So please check that out. Thank you guys so much. Till next time. Bye, everybody.